Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the I can push in this truth with sincerity and charity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. I'm the brother you lied, coming back at you with another one. We may title this, "You Still Calling Yourselves a Color?" And this is just a lesson or so, video of edification. Aimed at you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, still calling yourselves by the means of these bywords and these proverbs and these other names that don't even exist in the scripture. There is no African American in the scripture. There is no Hispanic, no Latino in the scripture. When the Lord comes, he's coming to save the Israelites. And we'll just get
And
started
black
with
people
the
are
video.
rarely black. I see mostly various shades of brown and tan, and in fact, some light-skinned black people are lighter than the darkest white people. Look how dark the people in India are. They're dark brown, but they're considered white. May I see the color chart, please? People of color is an awkward phrase that obscures meaning rather than enhancing it. What shall we call fat people? People of size? I also don't say African Americans. I find it cumbersome and confusing. Which part of Africa are we talking about? Egypt? Egypt is in Africa, but Egyptians aren't black. They're like the people in India. They're dark brown white people. But they're Africans. So why wouldn't an Egyptian citizen who becomes an Egyptian who becomes a U.S. citizen be called an African American? The same would apply to South Africa. Suppose a white racist from South Africa becomes an American citizen. Couldn't he call himself an African American? If for no other reason than just to bother black people. And black people are...
So, yeah, these racial codes and things are set up here in Babylon, the great mystery Babylon, which is Rome 2.0, which is the United States of America. This is that mystery Babylon. The reason why is Babylon is because it's confusion. And these racial codes, these racial stats and what they call race and heritage is a bunch of confusion because it doesn't make sense. The term African American doesn't make sense. The term black doesn't make sense. Nobody's skin color is black. It's not. It's just different shades of brown. But we'll get the scriptures because whatever I'm saying, it don't matter. What matters is what the scripture's saying. Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, which lead thee, cause thee to error, and destroy the way of thy paths. So you let the so-called white man, who is the child, who is that child, because this is manifold, the scripture. You know, children are your oppressors could be talking about the little kids in your neighborhoods with guns, bullying people, deboing people. It could be talking about that, but it's also talking about Esau, Edom, who is a child in spirit in a grown man's body. He's a child, and he rules over you, and then he sets a woman over you. So all of these ways that they forced on you is to lead you astray, to lead you into believing that you still a color, and that's just stupid. But it's there to destroy you, because what? My people perish because of a lack of knowledge, as it says in the scripture. Hey, you perish for a lack of knowledge. The knowledge right here in the scripture, if you just open it up and pick it up off your grandma's shelf and just blow the dust off and read, maybe you'll learn something. But no. Why? Because Isaiah 1:3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. So you don't care. You don't care for the truth. You don't care for what's real and what's not. You just want to satisfy your flesh and satisfy your desires and your lust and lasciviousness and covetousness. You want to satisfy yourself. You don't care about the laws, the statutes and commandments, the things that are good. You don't care about the grace, and you take advantage of it, thinking you gonna just last minute hop on the G-Wagon with the Lord after you've been making them tarry for quite some time, right? You know, somebody said something to the effect of I wasn't gonna share this, but somebody said something to the effect when the prophet, when one of the brothers contacted, I guess you could say got in reach with him, he decided to say, "Let me know when the missile's coming." Man, if you don't get over here and no, it's not no. You wait for the last minute. You see what happened. It say Terry not to turn to the Lord, but that just. I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent. That's a little bit vexing to me. That Jake abuses the grace. They don't consider they master. They don't consider the Lord. They don't consider the right and the wrong. And they want to wait till the nukes is in mid-air, when the fire is here, when the famine is here, then they want to try to change. And it's a vexation to me. But anyway, in Ecclesiastes, it talks about these kind of things. Things are vexation of spirit. So forgive me for going off on a little tangent there, on a little rant. But 1 Kings 9-7, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I gave them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, and I will cast out of my sight. And will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. So Israel got put out of the land, right? Amos 7-17, it says that you'll be, Israel shall go forth shall be taken forth out of his land into captivity, roughly paraphrasing. Right? It says you should die in a polluted land. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get it. I got the scripture right here. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, we're going to go to Amos. Bear with me for 1 second. Since I quoted it, I don't know the Spirit telling me to get it. Hold on, almost there. I went right over it. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. Amos 7-17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. So your wife gonna be a hoe, and your children gonna die by the violence, destruction, so forth. Continuing on, it says, and thy land shall be divided by line. So you're going to live in areas with borders and stuff like that. It's going to be lines drawn, like geographics and stuff like that. And even the land of Israel divided by a line too. It says, thou shalt die in a polluted land. Is this land not polluted? Is it not chemtrails in the sky and your air that you breathe? Is it not fluoride in your water? Is it not? Hey, look at Flint. Flint still ain't got no water, and the U.S. still sending money over to Ukraine and the fake, the bastards that it says the bastards shall dwell in Ashdod. So the U.S. keeps sending money over there to help them people who pretending to be us, right? Mind you, but Flint still ain't got no water. This place is polluted. It's polluted with the blood that's been slain of the original inhabitants of this place, right? The land is polluted. It says, thou shalt die in the polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land, which means out of his land. The nation of Israel indeed went in captivity and was taken out of his land. And Israel is not back in the land today. Israel, in fact, is still in Babylon in captivity today. So, yeah, Israel's being called a proverb and a byword, which is a name that's not your name. If your name is, why not just say it? If your name was Isaiah and I started calling you Cornelius, you're not going to answer to Cornelius, are you? Well, it's the same thing that happened with, how you say, Kunta Kinte, Toby. They called you Toby and you answered to it. All right. They called you black and you answered to it. They called you Hispanic and you answered to it. That's what being called a proverb and a byword means. You're being called by something that you're not. You're being called by a name that somebody else is giving you. Especially your enemy has given you this name. The Lord didn't call you black. The Lord didn't call you indigenous American. The Lord didn't call you these things, but you want to continue to call yourself something that your enemy who put you in slavery, who raped, robbed, and murdered you for years. You want to continue to be called by the name that this guy made up. And that is a vexation of spirit. Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.